Welcome! Today we're continuing the Gintama journey with episode 116, 117, and 118. We're continuing the Ryugu Palace arc. As always, if you enjoy the content I'm making and you want to support the channel, you can head over to my Patreon. Link is in the description down below. You can also join the Discord server if you want to talk, hang out, or even, well, just to have fun. Subscribe if you want to see more. So let's get into episode 116. This arc so far has been really good in my opinion. There's nothing that I would say is a standout negative so far. The Ryugu Palace arc is more focused on comedy, of course. But there's also, or there kind of was, a sense of mystery to it. Because at first we didn't know what those boxes meant, how the Ryugu Palace, where it is, and what it looks like exactly. And also why Queen Otohime wants to rapidly increase the average age of the population on Earth. These questions have all been answered. Still not too sure about the geography of the whole place. So, the cave where the guide lives, the one that brought them here. That's kind of the suburbs or something, or the outskirts of the Ryugu Palace. But the actual palace is underwater. And so the outskirts are actually on top of it. Because now we know it's a ship. It's actually its own nation. Its own sovereign. It has its own sovereign borders, and it's independent. It's on a spaceship. I mean, that whole revelation kind of made it pretty cool because it was a twist on the usual mythological legend, the Ryugu Palace. I think that's what Gintama has so many references and inspirations from Japanese history, mythology, culture. This obviously is a part of it, but the twist made it so much more interesting, and as I said, it fits so well into the Gintama universe because of the technology, the way of travel in this world. So it makes sense that it would be on a spaceship if it was independent and its own nation. So well done on that part. Also, the visuals of the actual palace itself were very impressive. It makes it look like something out of a dream. You know, with the lighting, the variety of colors, the vibrancy of it. It's dreamlike, and it's good. It's good. Yeah, as I said, I really enjoyed the mystery at the start of this arc. Because in general, in any kind of story or in storytelling, I love mystery. It's an aspect that keeps me excited and wanting to see more, to know more about the story itself. And so this was, I don't think, it's not too often that we have this kind of mystery in Gintama. So my wish would be that we get to see more of this in future arcs. What I also really like about this arc so far is the group dynamic. because of the change of Katsura and Gintoki, them now being elders. it's 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 good because it's so much fun and it's funny. They are funny, the jokes are good, but also because they're now being kind of like the support or in the background. And in the forefront are Shin, Kaguya. What am I saying? Kaguya? Not Kaguya. Kyubei. Okay. Kyubei and Kagura. And I have to say that one scene of them charging into the guards and dicing them up so quickly. The animation was good, and also the choreography. Ooh, so smooth. That was a really good action scene. And yeah, them being able to handle it, because we kind of know they are, but it's always Gintoki or Katsura that do the most damage. But this time, it's really the characters that we want to see more of in terms of action. Well, Kagura, I mean, she's always up for a good fight, of course. But still, in combination with Kyubei and Shin, it's refreshing and enjoyable. Okay, I can't wait to see where this is going. Yeah, Queen Otohime, I understand her sentiment. Oh, also, it was implied that she had emotions before she well she was kind of spoiled and rotting on the inside when she became so obsessed with her beauty, with her looks, and infested with jealousy. Before that, she seemed to be a very desirable woman, not just because of her beauty, but maybe also because of her charm. Yeah, so I'm hoping to see more of her backstory and how all of that developed. Alright, let's get into episode 117. This episode delivered exactly on what I wanted to see from this arc, which was the exact context of the whole backstory of Otohime. We got that in this episode, and it didn't disappoint, in my opinion. Now we got the actual reason why Otohime is so obsessed with making herself look the most beautiful on Earth, and that is why it's Earth itself, not another planet or something, but Earth, because of her husband. The journal that Shin Gene Katsura found was, yeah, it was a good insight into her mind, into her feelings at that point in time. Through that, we know now that she doubted herself. She considered whether or not to do it, and if she is to blame for, well, his yeah, suicide. And that was really good storytelling, since it fleshed her out as a character and didn't just make her some dumb old mind-numbing generic villain to the protagonists, but made her an actual authentic self, an actual tangible person. Because at her core, she has very human and very common desires that all of us share. She found this man who she fell deeply in love with. She said even herself she can't understand why his words that many that came after him said in the same, well, not in the same way. The same words were said, but why his words, his exact words, stuck with her? He had such a lasting impression on her because he was so genuine, and he cared for her. Man, this I'm really liking her backstory. I actually do. It reminded me of another villain of a different arc. I think it was the Fuyo arc with Tama, because he, at heart, his initial goal, his initial desire was very pure, just like hers, to want to look the exact same as she looked when they were together. And that has been such a long time. So in order to keep herself the same, she tried everything. That dedication, that devotion, just so he could recognize her, so he could be with her again when he wakes up. She really loved and loves him. And that pure desire turned into something very malicious. Because now she's turning everyone on Earth, because there's just no way to keep her the exact same. Well, there might be. I don't know. There might be a way. Probably. Because this is Gintama and technology is very advanced. But somehow it didn't work for her. Now she's aging. Now she's getting fat. Sorry for saying that. She's getting a bit, bigger. And it didn't work. So now she resorts to making everyone else look very old, undesirable, and ugly. But it's like what Otai said. The true beauty comes from the soul. When the soul... okay. There's even more than a beautiful and an ugly soul. There's more to that. Because the very core is neither beautiful nor ugly. It's something beyond dualism. But that's again another very spiritual topic. So let's leave it at what Otai said. I think is very true. The beautiful soul is what is important, not the superficial and external beauty and aesthetics. So yeah, good for Otai that she said that. She understands what it's all about. Very good backstory. And yeah, let's get into the last episode of this arc. A good way to end off this arc which has been very entertaining, in my opinion. I've really enjoyed every episode. There were some inconsistencies, some plot holes, maybe some things that didn't make sense. But looking past that, I think you find an arc which is mainly focused on comedy and executes the comedy very well, as Gintama in that aspect never disappoints. And also the deeper themes, the love between Otohime and her husband. And in this episode, Otohime realizing her straying off her real path, her real desire to be with her husband. It was really good for her to come back to herself. And that would have not been possible without the help of the Yorozuya and everyone else that came along. But of course, what made big difference was Katsura and Gintoki having that spirit and determination, that straight back. And that metaphor of the straight back, oh, so good. I love it. Even if you're hunched over, even if you're crippled, what matters is that on the inside, your true self is always running straight forward, always, moving forward, keeping on moving forward. It's such a great message for all of us to, in dark times, and even as we get older and our bodies get more fragile, that there's still something that is not touched by this aging. What was especially great, the little scene when Katsura and Gin were walking off, but for a moment they appeared as, well, young, not young, but grown up Gintoki and Katsura. Picture of them walking alongside each other as their true spirits, and not as the old man, the elders that they were at that moment. And Shin rubbing his eyes. Wait, did I just see that correctly? Wait, can I trust my eyes? But for a second, I thought they reversed back to their real selves. It wasn't the case. It was their spirit, their soul. And when Otohime was ready to die, she actually also kind of gave up. She wanted to be with her husband. Yeah, at the ocean floor, lying beside him, which would have also been very poetic and beautiful. But no, not for Gin. Gin couldn't just let her die. He had to jump in because that's just who he is. That's Gin. And he saved her. Her now having the bar and looking so much younger, because also she's not under any pressure or stress anymore. All of this this whole obsession with being the most beautiful woman puts so much stress on her psyche, and in turn on her body. It made her age so much and gain a little bit of weight. But at the end, she was smiling. Her smile was beautiful. Her face looked so, how can I say it, clean? I don't know. Yeah, clean. And she didn't have as much on her waist. Yeah, him appearing again, I don't know what that was. It was weird. It was a nice moment, but it was kind of weird. I was just thinking maybe he was an apparition, but Kondo and Toshiro saw him as well. But he might still have been an apparition. Yeah, probably not. Yeah, that's what doesn't really make sense to me. There were some other small details, but whatever, doesn't matter. I really enjoyed this arc. I hope you did as well. Let me think what you God, I can't talk. Let me know what you think about this arc, this whole Otohime storyline and the comedy, because I really loved the comedy. It was really funny. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, you are free to do so if you want to see more. So enjoy your day, take care, and bye.